These two starports aren't. Maybe he could have escaped with just the one. We do have another drop trying to get in, but once again denied by the full army of SungInSPR, being very, very diligent in keeping an eye on that minimap, looking at what's going on. We do have another drop moving around again, but it looks like it will be thwarted once again by these stalkers. We do have a drop moving in once again at this third. And it is doing a little bit of damage to this pylon. We do have a stalker warping in, and a zealot as well. They will not do too much to this drop. The zealots do have charge. Sorry guys, I did miss that one. Blink is now on the way. Attack level 2 also on the way, and Templar archives. We do have another gateway and a second forge for those upgrades that are moving down. And yes, that drop was also thwarted at the top. It did go down, as we can see, the corpse of the Marine, but no real damage done. If we have a look at the units tab, we see that both players macro out very, very heavily. 62 SCVs, 63 probes, slightly ahead in the count, but those 4 mules will put the Terran ahead in income. We do see 32 Marauders, 3 Medivacs, 8 Vikings, and 3 Marines. So that Marauder Viking play very, very solid against Protoss units. We do have a 4th being taken by Sungin while I tell you this. We also have 10 Zealots, 3 Colossus, and 10 Stalkers with 6 Sentries and 3 High Templar. So very, very strong army for both players. Those High Templar with the Psionic Storm, which is coming down now, are very, very dangerous. Excuse me again, guys, to that Bio Ball. And also to those Vikings. They do a lot of damage if those Vikings clump together, which they have the tendency to do. We do see a move out, though, from Voices, with Sungin just sort of gathering his armies together at the bottom of his base. Psionic Storm almost finishing. Ghost on the way. Terran infantry level 2, both shields and weapons are on, not shields, sorry, armor and weapons are on the way. 6 Marauders also being produced. Weapons level 3 and armor level 1 are also on the way from Sungin. That fourth nexus is just about to finish. We do have a few cannons going up just for defense. That spotting Marine as the army of TAVoices is just sort of posturing in the middle, trying to gain position. This command center is looking like it's going up. I'm not sure whether he'll land it offensively here, or probably more likely defensively here. And I'm sure that will be a planetary fortress. If you do see weapons level 3, armor level 2, and cloaking for those ghosts that we saw coming out, all being researched as armor level 1 just finishes up for the Protoss. We do have a scan going down, trying to gain where that Protoss army is. The Vikings moving to try and gain position on this Colossus. They are being controlled pretty well, though. Those Colossus are a little bit open. Huge blink in, brave blink in. Those Colossus raining down damage on the bar. Huge storm, but those Vikings not microed to the best, but now they are going to pick off a lot of free Colossus, and all of those Colossus go down. A few Vikings cop the death with a blink in from those Stalkers, but all of those Colossus, those 4 Colossus from Sungin, have gone down, and at the moment it is a significant lead to TAVoices. As we see infantry weapons level 3 very, very close to finishing, and armor level 2 even closer. Both players posturing a little bit. I'm unsure as to whether Voices knows exactly how far he is ahead, although a lot of these Vikings now, these well, 8 Vikings are just completely useless. We see only 1 Colossus in production, and all these Stalkers will rip them to shreds. This planetary fortress going up in the choke to try and, I suppose, prevent the army from moving in too easily. Yeah, now I expected. Sorry guys, this is a little bit confusing. That 4th is in fact going down, as a 5th is taken by Sungin, but that planetary at the front is just to prevent sort of a huge wash of Protoss units coming in without being hurt. As you can see, these simply gateway units will struggle very, very hard to actually crack this planetary fortress, and with that tower, no DTs can do it safely. To have a sort of a back and forth from both players. Those charge lots moving in now, getting a good surround on those units. Storms coming in, huge EMP though, getting a lot of those High Templar, but some didn't remain. A big storm and a lot of feedback going off from those remaining High Templar are now Archons morphing in. They will act as meat shields essentially, trying to take as much of this damage. Stalker's now moving in, but that is still a lot of Marauders there left. And 2 Ghosts in the mix doing a lot of damage. And yeah, Voices came out very, very far ahead in that fight, I would say. 1 Colossus popping out now. The Vikings are nowhere to be seen. We do have a little drop over here as well, so both players microing as much as they can. That Colossus doing a lot of damage to this Terran bio, but this drop is still alive. And at the moment is undefended. These 2 Ghosts though have just finished cloaking and standing out in the open, and will go down. Perhaps a little bit of mismanagement. However, that third has been taken down by that drop, and that is a big loss. Although we do have already the 5th up and not quite running yet for SungIn, as we do see the 5th going up as well for Voices. So a very, very heavy macro orientated map. We do see Archons morphing in, armor level 3, Terran infantry armor level 3, more High Templar, another Nexus going back at that 3rd. And at the moment both players just trying to macro as heavily as we can. We do have another drop going up into this 3rd. Will it drop with those Zealots there? I'm unsure. Another High Templar being warped in. It will catch a little bit from that cannon. We did have a little engagement down here as well, trying to get some of those SCVs. He may actually have picked off quite a few. If we look at the units tab, we do see 66 SCVs to the 82 of SungIn, so a huge macro lead there. We do have 1 Marauder also going in for a little bit of a scout. He will be uncontested, as there are absolutely no units at all there. And trying to do as much damage as possible to that Nexus. Which damage exactly? No, the shields have not are not quite halfway, and they will recharge. I assume at a warp in. Yes, 1 Zealot will take care of that. Looks like 7 medivacs now for Voices. That is a lot of heal buses travelling around the station. 2 Marines heading off for a little bit of a scout, and in the production tab we do see infantry armor level 3 still coming up, and ground armor level 3 for SungIn coming down. And it is currently a 5 base Protoss to a 5 base Terran, the 6th being half of a wall. And yeah, both players still just trying to macro up. We do have SungIn as maxed, and Voices as about a 180 food. Once again though, only 2 Colossus. We do have movement into the front wall. There are a lot of Marauders though. Big stim from about half of that army, a little bit wasted. We did have a EMP though. All of the shields of those Zealots and things going down. Huge storm though as well, taking a lot of damage off of these Marauders. And those Colossus are doing massive damage. You do have feedbacks going down on the medivacs, not only killing them but also preventing a lot of healing that these Marauders desperately need. And those Colossus once again sending huge amounts of damage to the Terran. And it looks like we may have switched foods at the moment. We do have SungIn sitting at about 173, TAVoices at 124, so a big lead. We do have Protoss level shields coming down now. Often the last upgrades to actually be researched for Protoss, and looks like this planetary will fall. It is doing quite a bit of damage to those Zealots though, and we do have yeah, as these bases go down, the last mining bases for Voices, he does GG out of the game, perhaps realising exactly how far he was behind. I mean, look at this gathering of SCVs, and once this army moves up there, he is completely mined out. So yeah, great game from SPR there, and really good win, but also well played by TAVoices. But yeah, that is the first of the clan matches that I'm going to be bringing you guys. I hope to bring a lot more over the coming weeks, but I really hope you enjoyed that, and I will catch you all very